Om-Jyana-Tirandasya Jnana-Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna-Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-Vedanta Swami-Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Veshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he sang the first verse, Cheto Darpanam Arjanam. Then he had the feelings of humility, feelings of lamentation. Then he chanted Nam Nam Akari Bahuda. Now, what is the method of engaging in sadhana bhakti of chanting the holy name? What is the method? How to do it? That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching all of us in the third shloka. So here in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antyalila, chapter 20, shloka 20. Ei rupe laile, nama prema upajay, tahara lakshana shuna, swarup ramaray. Hey Swarup Damodar, hey Ramananda Rai, here. Hear from me. What should I be here? Symptoms of that person who chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to awaken Krishna Prem. So how should a person who wants to awaken Krishna Prem should chant? That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling. Yes, all of us together will chant. Trinadapi sunichena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadari. That's it. The smallest verse of Shikshashtakam and very heavy to implement. So Trinadapi sunichena, to be thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. Taror iva saishnunam, tolerant like that of a tree. Amanina, to give respect. Amanina, not expecting any respect. Manadena, to give respect to others. Such a person can be Kirtaniya Sadahari, chant the holy names always. So very objectively, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says that when a person engages in offenseless chanting of holy name, he exhibits these 4 characteristics. Humility born out of detachment and renunciation of sense objects. Second, compassion decorated with lack of jealousy. Third, freedom from false egoism. And fourth, appropriate honor to everyone. So these are the 4 characteristics that person will exhibit who is chanting offenselessly. So means, if I chant offenselessly, these 4 will manifest. But along with that, in the song, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying in the first stanza, Shri Krishna Sankirtane Jadi Manasa Tohar Parama Jatane Tahi Labho Adhikar. If one has decided, this for all of us, if one has decided that I want to do Shri Krishna Sankirtan, then you know what he does? With great effort, he tries to get the eligibility for that. He tries to become qualified for that. So there are 2 things now. One is, that person who is offenselessly chanting, these 4 qualities will manifest. And that person who wants to chant offenselessly, he needs these 4 qualities. So he has to become qualified. So, initially we need to endeavor to attain these 4 high-level qualities. We should endeavor. Conscious endeavor is needed. Because when you consciously endeavor, that what will happen is, our offenses will go down. And when offenseless chanting happens, these qualities will naturally manifest. So subconsciously also it will be there. So first, conscious endeavor is needed. Then offenseless chanting will happen. And then these qualities will naturally manifest. initially it might be artificial. But since the devotee is struggling so much, by the mercy of the Lord, these qualities will become natural. See, some qualities we can get artificially we manifest. And the actual qualities means those born out of devotional service. We can see some people are naturally humble. But that is their swabhav janit. By their own swabhava, by their own previous birth, they are humble. But by practice of devotional service, that person who gets humility, that is actual humility. So like that, tolerance and other qualities also. So in this way, we understand that these 4 qualities are needed to practice bhakti offenselessly, and that offenseless bhakti will give rise to these 4 qualities naturally. And those qualities which manifest naturally will not go away at any time in any situation. That is an important point to note. So let's begin. First one. Trinadapi sunichena. Trinadapi, like the blade of grass like. Sunichena. Nichena means low. Sunichena means very low. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing, Trinadhika hina dina akinchana char apane manibo sada chadi ahankar. He's saying one should feel lower than the blade of grass. One should consider oneself worthless, destitute, lowly, and in this way one should give up false ego. Now if we speak like this in front of materialists, they'll say these people are mad. Because in the outside world, people talk about taking over others, stamping over others, being bold and this and that, but here something else is told. Saraswati Thakur, he makes a point. He says, those who are mad after sense enjoyment, for such people, they will never realize their insignificance. Those who are mad after sense enjoyment, they cannot realize their insignificance. They'll never realize that they're insignificant. Never. Why? Because that person who has enjoyer mentality, there is no experience or realization of insignificance. Because enjoyer means what? Always master, always the top. So how can that person experience oneself to be insignificant? Therefore, this quality, Saraswati Thakur is saying, this quality, that person who is an enjoyer cannot get. So enjoyer cannot get this. He'll never realize his insignificance. See here, anything else could have been told. No, why trina? Why grass? What do you all say? Okay, we stamp, it doesn't come up, is it? Always in lower position. The value is very less. Yes, very, almost nothing. Yes. Here, blade of grass is there, and then it is said lower than the blade of grass. So Saraswati Thakur is saying that, see, a straw or a blade of grass, it's a material object. And say it has pride of being something, that is appropriate. It's a material object and it's appropriate. Okay, it has got this feeling that I'm something. That blade of grass is thinking, I'm blade of grass. But now, when we consider ourselves to be something, that is inappropriate. Why? Because we are servants of Krishna, but we are pervertedly thinking something about ourselves. Therefore, Saraswati Thakur is saying, blade of grass is better than you. Because what blade of grass is thinking, that is still appropriate, but what you are thinking is inappropriate. You are not what you are thinking. Therefore, this line is there. Trinadapi sunichena. So the fact is, I am more lower than the blade of grass. That is what is my position because of my inappropriate thought process. Now let's discuss some practical points. Again, our acharyas are giving these points. First and foremost, now since devotees, sadhakas have taken up the role of guiding others, so naturally people come and they'll fall at our feet and they'll say also, please show your lotus feet. Yes. Saraswati Thakur says, a pure devotee will never consider oneself to be a Vaishnava. A pure devotee will never consider oneself to be a guru. That's what he's saying. There's a sign of humility. And this is, I think, very, very important for each one of us. Because if someone considers oneself to be a Vaishnava or considers oneself to be a guru, it's actually a big obstacle in attaining great humility. One cannot attain humility with this feeling. Why should a guru be humble? Yeah, guru itself means heavy. One should be heavy. Therefore, this is a very important point. So, what is the mood of pure devotees then? So, pure devotees consider themselves to be Shishya, disciple of the entire world, lower than everyone else. This is what they consider. Now, see, there should be some logic, no? Why do they consider like this, lower than everyone else? What do you think? Just like that, out of emotions, I cannot say. There should be some logic to convince oneself. Yes, that's the point. That's what Saraswati Thakur is saying. Knowing that every atom and every living entity who is in minute consciousness is a resting place of Lord Krishna. Therefore, he does not consider anyone to be lower than him. He sees, oh, everyone is a resting place of Krishna. How can they be lower than me? I am lower than everyone. He does not say that I am also resting place of Krishna. A pure devotee considers, oh, I am devoid of Krishna consciousness. Krishna is resting in everyone, even in each and every atom. Therefore, it is said pure devotees respect even an ant. And yes, we'll come back to that point. I remember on pastime, one devotee, his name is Prithu Prabhu, he was sharing. This happened in Sweden. So Srila Prabhupada was addressing some students. And Prabhupada said that in the society there are 4 classes of people. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. First class, second class, third class, fourth class. Then suddenly after the statement, one boy got up and he said, correct, you're speaking all this. Because actually you're first class. Therefore you're sitting on a raised platform and all your disciples, they're serving you and respecting you. And Prithu Prabhu, who is narrating this pastime, where he was personally present to witness this pastime, he says, I saw Srila Prabhupada literally pleading to the student. And you're saying, no. I'm actually 5th class. I am not first class. And there's dead silence in the entire hall. Dead silence. And at that time, Prabhupada said, because I'm servant of everyone. And Prithu Prabhu, who was observing Prabhupada's expressions, he said that Srila Prabhupada's lips were quivering and 2 drops of tears fell from Prabhupada's eyes. So pure devotees naturally feel this. It's in accordance with what Shastras are saying. They actually feel that everyone else is superior than me. And they consider themselves to be servant of others. Actually, this is a fact. Srila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj. See, our acharyas are very special. Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya is next level. So Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj, he is Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye. So what he would do is, what he would eat is very difficult to understand only. Just hearing that we cannot digest. You know what he would eat? He would soak rice. Raw rice he would soak. And eggplant, brinjal, that he would get. So soaked raw rice he would eat, and he would eat brinjal raw. And like this he continued every day. There's one point where Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj, he lost his eyesight. He's almost blind. So that time Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So at that time already Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj had given Diksha to Saraswati Thakur. So his name was Siddhanta Saraswati. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that you should go to Kolkata and get your eyes treated, and Siddhanta Saraswati will assist you. And at that time Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj, he loudly shouted, he is my Prabhu. How can I take service from him? And he ran away from there. So this is the mood. Actually, our acharyas, they don't consider themselves to be guru. When they are supposed to do the service of a guru, they will do. When they chastise, they do it in the mood of service. When they instruct, they do it in the mood of service. Service to the parampara. They do it in that mood. But when they're asked, are you guru? No, I am not guru. I am servant of all of them. And they justify also. Servant will serve. And I am serving all of them by training them. Therefore, I am servant. They justify also. See, when it comes to us, when we're trying to fake our humility, that's needed also. So you say, I am fallen, I am your servant. But internally, you don't actually mean it. But then it's much better than not speaking also. Yes. So, or I should say that, much better than that. Because some people are arrogant on the face. So that's at least, that's better, where the person at least, artificially at least presents themselves as servant of others and whatever. Therefore, it's very important to note that these acharyas, they actually feel that they're servants of others. Now, what are the signs of humility for each one of us to practically implement? What are the signs of humility? So, the first sign which Saraswati Thakur is saying is a person who is humble. He will never create fake concocted mantra or teachings. So whatever is coming in the parampara, he'll present only that. He'll never create his own teachings. That is a sign of humility. Specifically, see, all of us, when we are preaching, one thing we need to understand is we have to preach what is already preached. Means whatever we have heard, ideally I should say whatever we have read from the acharyas, from their writings, we are supposed to repeat that. That is actually sign of humility. Whatever we speak, at one point of time we should reach this level that whatever we speak, we should be able to give verifiable pramanas from Shastra. Every line, if someone asks, Prabhuji, ye kahan se mila? We should know where does it come from. We should tell from so and so place, from so and so acharya's commentary, this statement has come. So it's a very important thing for all the preachers. This is actually sign of humility. Because a person who is proud, he cannot repeat what others say. But a person who is humble, who has accepted his position as servant of the parampara, he will be able to repeat what the parampara acharyas are speaking. So therefore, whenever we speak as spiritual leaders, as spiritual servants, it's very important for us to repeat what is given in Shastra, and for that we should read Shastra. One thing that has happened with me nowadays is, even if I hear some class, I first try to find where are the praman given. And if I don't find praman, I don't speak. Now it is not something which I wanted to do consciously, but it has happened subconsciously. Because that's how my superiors are doing. So when I hear them giving reference to each and every line, then it becomes very astonishing. Oh, this is how we're supposed to present. Because as preachers, when we're presenting, you have to present bona fide knowledge. But as soon as we add our own concoction, we are actually diluting the entire thing. So the power of that medicine will be very, very low. And who is the person who has created this problem? The fake doctor. He has diluted the medicine. And patient is not getting cured. And patient is reading various different things in Shastra, it's not working. Therefore, it's very important that we preachers have to make sure that we pass on as it is given by the acharyas. So, when we say we have to repeat, what are the different levels of repeating? The purports of the acharyas, Prabhupada and the other acharyas, have to be repeated as it is. Even the lectures should be repeated as it is, obviously understanding the context of the lectures also. Letters, room conversations, one has to be very careful because they are extremely contextual. And we should see what is the context. And in that context, we should be speaking. See, in some places what has happened is, Prabhupada's image has been questioned by outsiders. You know why? Because many of the sadhakas in our organization, they have spoken room conversations and personal letters publicly. And what will happen then? So in some context, Prabhupada has spoken something and then publicly you speak that. So you're spoiling the image of the Acharya. Because their Acharya intended something when he spoke. But now when you're speaking, you're intending something else. Therefore, which points to repeat? That has to be very clear. Therefore, whatever is given in books, we can repeat as it is. And for that, every preacher should be reading the books thoroughly. Very, very important. We should be able to repeat the purports also as it is. And that you will see that will nourish the audience. When they hear, it will nourish them like anything. And how to protect oneself from pride. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is talking about that also. This is another sign of humility. And at the same time, it acts as a protection covering. How to protect? He says, when we follow the instruction of the superior, spiritual master, and do the service, that acts like protection. Specifically, he says, following the bona fide spiritual master, when one writes books and engages in glorification of the holy name, propagates the glories of holy names, such a person will not be disturbed. His humility will not be disturbed. Actually, it's a very nice protection. You know why? Say, we have been given a service and we are doing it because we have been told to do it. And we do that service. And then that becomes successful. And when people glorify, naturally we'll be able to pass on the glories to the superior, to the parampara. Because we understand if the service wouldn't have come to me, how these glories would have come. So actually these glories are not for me. It goes directly to my superior and the parampara. So in this way, a person can stay humble. And you know what? Following instruction itself is a very big thing. A person who is proud will give instruction. But following instruction, very difficult, very difficult. Mind will tell, why should I follow him? What is the need to follow this person? I also know this. But anyone who takes the instruction, follows it nicely, that's a sign of humility. And also that acts as protection. So therefore, this is the first one. That is Trinadapi Sunichena. Second one. Taror iva sahishnuna. Taror iva, tree-like. Tree-like what? Sahishnu, tolerant, patient. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing in third stanza. Vriksha sama shama guna korobi sadhan. Pratihimsa tyaji anye korobi palan. So one must cultivate. What one must cultivate? One must cultivate shama, forgiveness like that of a tree. And another thing that he's saying is pratihimsa tyaji anye koro bi palan. It's very important that one should not retaliate towards others. Whereas you should protect them, you should maintain them. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he recited this shloka, Trinadapi Sunichena, then he started saying, Uttama haya apana ke mane trinadhama dui prakare saheshnuta kare vriksha sama. So he is glorifying the tree. Because he is talking about tolerance of a tree. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorifying the tree. See what he is saying. He is saying that Uttama haya apana ke mane trinadhama. Anyone who is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or with the symptoms of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is what? Even if he is exalted, even if he is Uttam, still he thinks himself to be lower than Trina, lower than grass on the ground. And like a tree, he tolerates everything. And technically he says, tolerates everything in two ways. What are the two ways? Next shloka. Vriksha jene kati leha, kichu na bolai, shukaya maileha kare, pani na magai. When the tree is cut, first thing is it does not protest. Then second, even when it is drying up, it does not ask for water. But then it does something more. What it does? Jai Jai Magai Tare Deya Pandhan Gharma Vrishti Sahe Anyera Kare Rakshan. In fact, that person who has come to cut the tree, what the tree does, the tree delivers the fruits, flowers, whatever he has, it gives it to the person. It tolerates the scorching heat and rain, and it gives the shade to the person who is below the tree and may be cutting the tree. One devotee was sharing something wonderful. Even when the tree is falling, the tree is doing a very wonderful service. The tree makes sound while falling. And that sound is, "Arey hato hato, main gir raha hu. Lag jayega tumhe." It falls, with that sound. So in this way, tolerant like a tree. A sadhaka is expected to be tolerant like a tree, where specifically he is trying to help others in various ways, even at the cost of his own personal luxury, personal needs. Saraswati Thakur is saying that in the nature of an enjoyer, he cannot be tolerant. An enjoyer cannot be tolerant. So an enjoyer cannot be humble. An enjoyer cannot be tolerant. When it comes to pure devotees, they tolerate everything. They tolerate the material prestige. In fact, they don't consider any respectful prestige to be material. They pass it on to the Lord. And at the same time, they tolerate criticism of all the fools. The ones who try to criticize them, they try to tolerate. Do they tolerate all the time? When pure devotees don't tolerate criticism. Yes. They tolerate criticism when it's up to them. When the criticism is directed towards them. And when the criticism is towards the three B's, Bhagavan, Bhakti, Bhakta, they don't tolerate. They don't tolerate this. And we see this example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had taken sannyas and he was in Jagannath Puri. So sannyasi is living a very renounced life. After all, sannyas Shiromani he is. There one person came, his name was Ramachandra Puri. Ramachandra Puri came there and this person was an offender who offended Madhavendra Puri. So naturally, what happened is because of that offense, he was trying to find faults in all the devotees. You know what he would do? He would call devotees to one place and he would serve prasad. And then the devotees would take, and again he'll serve prasad. Again they would take. Again he'll serve prasad. He'll force and serve, and devotees would take. And then he would comment. Look at these followers of Chaitanya, how much they eat. Same thing he was doing with Lord Chaitanya. All the devotees were annoyed. Because again and again he was trying to find fault in Lord Chaitanya. At one point what happened is, early morning, Ramchandra Puri came to meet Lord Chaitanya in Gambhira. Now he was searching where to find fault. So he found some ants coming out of the room where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would stay. Then he announced to everyone, see, ants are coming out. This is the proof that this sannyasi is eating sweets at night in a hidden way. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not speaking anything. And all the devotees around, given a chance, they wanted to kill him and make his samadhi besides Gambhira. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tolerated. But the same Chaitanya in Navadvip, when he got to know that Jagai and Madhai has hurt Nityananda and the blood is oozing out from the forehead of Nitai, at that time Lord Chaitanya runs to that place and he raises his arm with a finger up and he says, Chakra, Chakra. And it is described that Mahaprabhu was extremely angry. So through his own example, Mahaprabhu is proving something very, very amazing. That when it comes to criticism to one's own self, one tolerates. When it comes to criticism of other devotees, Bhagavan, Bhakti, one will not tolerate. Therefore, you see, Prabhupada, he never tolerated Mayavadis because they always criticized the form of the Lord. He never tolerated anyone who spoke against the devotees or against the process of devotional service. So at times when we hear Prabhupada speaking like that, we might feel, oh, it's so heavy. No, he's tolerant. He's tolerant when it comes to his own criticisms. When someone criticizes him, there's one example where there was one newspaper article and that article criticized Prabhupada. And Prabhupada read that and Prabhupada smiled. I said, it's very nice. And devotee was like, it's your criticism. And Prabhupada said, but look how many times the word Krishna has come in this. People will get benefited by reading this. So Prabhupada tolerated the criticism towards himself, but he didn't tolerate criticism towards Bhagavan, Bhakti and Bhakta. He didn't tolerate. So in this way, Prabhupada's humility is seen in his lectures and his talks. At the same time, how tolerant he is, that is also seen. One point that is there, tree benefiting other person is okay, appreciated, good, our Acharya is saying. But a devotee is more than a tree. Why a devotee is more than a tree? What a devotee does more than a tree? Tree is just providing fruits and flowers. He is giving shade. But when it comes to a devotee, he is superior to the tree because with his compassion, he benefits enemies, friends, and everyone. He benefits everyone. And specifically, a point that is made is, this is compassion which is decorated with lack of jealousy. Very decorative language. Compassion free from jealousy. These are very good points for self-introspection. I might be compassionate, but jealousy is there? Question mark. We should self-introspect. But here he's talking about free from jealousy. How do we say that he's compassionate? He sings while chanting the holy names. He prays to Krishna. What does he pray to Krishna? Oh Lord, these living entities whom I'm associating with, how can they attain attraction towards your holy name? Please bless them, O Lord, please bless them. So he has a concern for others. How will they attain attraction to the holy name of the Lord? How will they receive mercy of Krishna? He has concern for others. This is called as being tolerant. This compassion with lack of jealousy, this is called as actually tolerance. And we see that in Nityananda Prabhu. When Madhai, he hit the broken alcohol pot. Blood is flowing from the forehead of Nitai. And still he is begging them, chant Krishna's holy names. Accept Krishna as your eternal master. Very difficult to do this. For us, if we are giving class and if people are sitting and hearing submissively, then it's easy for us. Just imagine people are getting up and throwing stones at us. And still we are saying, आप कुछ भी कर लो, लेकिन मैं चाहता हूं कि आप सब नाम जप करो. Everyone should chant the holy names. You can do anything with me. That's too much. That's too much. But then we see this. We see this in great personalities. Therefore, this quality which Nityananda Prabhu is exhibiting is a quality of a devotee who is tolerant. So tolerant is not just tolerating insults, but tolerance is also shown through the compassion in preaching. Therefore, more the sadhaka is preaching, we can say that he is more tolerant. And I'm sure all of you might have experienced, during preaching we learn our lessons. Recently someone was asking me a question, how to overcome some anartha he was saying, how to overcome this anartha. I think he was talking about pride, how to overcome pride. I said, continue preaching. Subordinates will do the needful. And actually that's a fact. Whatever we have done to our superior, karma will come back. Yes. It has to come back. So whatever we have done, that will come to us, and that's how we'll get purified. And actually you see, more than seniors and equals, subordinates are the ones who purify the most. Because we have expectation that they should respect, and they are the ones when they insult, and the natural detachment, natural tolerance, all that will manifest. All that will manifest. All of you have experience? Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Jivana nirvahe ane udvega na dibe para upakare nija sukha pasaribe. He's saying that in the course of your life, while maintaining yourself, never give anxiety to anyone, but rather always do good to others, forgetting about your own happiness. So this is the point. Forgetting your own happiness, do good to others. Actually, this is what we see when it comes to great souls. They go to an extent of affecting their own physical health to help others, to extend themselves to others. And we see that in Srila Prabhupada. You see how much Prabhupada traveled. It was not that Prabhupada's health was all good and things like that. Even during the last phase, this was 1977, and Prabhupada said, I want to go to London. He went there. He was preaching, and then when his health went very low, very bad, then he came back to India. But then until the last moment, he was there preaching. That shows the compassion, that shows the level of tolerance. At the cost of my own happiness, I want to give happiness to others. When they are happy, when they are blissful, that is actually my happiness. So that's the mood of preachers. Little deep and little hard also to accept, but this is what it is. This is what it is. There's so many examples, where in Shastra, even contemporary examples for that matter, so many devotees, they extend themselves so much just for the benefit of others. When others get benefited, they are very happy. They are blissful, extremely blissful. This is the principle of Taror iva sahishnuna. Compassion devoid of jealousy. This is the second one. Third one is amanina. The principle of amanina. Without being puffed up by false pride. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Hoile o sarva gune guni mahashoy, prathishtasha chadi koro amani hriday. Very nice. So great soul is filled with all good qualities. So even if he has got all good qualities, he says, abandon all desires for fame. It's not that you have all good qualities, so you expect everyone to glorify. Don't hanker for any respect. This is the point that is making. Amani. Don't hanker for any respect. The word amani itself means lack of false conceit or false pride. This is very nice. Let's analyze this word false pride. See, when it comes to all of us, or okay, let's talk in third person language. When it comes to jivatmas of this world, what are the different things for which they are proud of? What are they proud of? No, name it. I know everything, but possessions. Huh? Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shri. Okay. Talents. Knowledge. Designation. Education. Birth. Ownership. Beauty. How do you all know about Jivatma so much? Sarjapur Thakur is giving a list. He says Yoga Aishwarya, opulence of mystic powers. Bhoga Aishwarya, opulence of material enjoyment. Dhana, wealth. Rupa, beauty. Jati, birth in noble family. Varna, birth in higher Varna. Fortunately, we don't know so. Bala, strength. Pratishtha, prestigious position. Adhikar, being in an officiating position, like an authority or so on. So, a person is proud of all this. Next question. So, all this is part of option A, gross body. Option B, subtle body. Option C, spirit soul. Option D, A and B. It belongs to subtle body and gross body. Okay, next question. So now, these things that subtle body and gross body have been endowed with, where is it coming from? That is their Supreme Lord, but why is it given only to us? Because of karma. Because of one's past karma, this has been given. So if you properly analyze, we have not done anything as such in this life to get that. Anything in this life to get that. What we have got is from the past karma. In some lifetime, someone else was parent, someone else was family member. And in that circumstance, we have got some punya. We are actually a different person altogether. You can say some person did some punya. You can safely conclude. And in this life, we have got all this. Sorry, the Jivatmas have got all this. And they're proud of this. Therefore, our Acharya, see, this is called logical analysis. Logically, they prove. Therefore, this pride is false pride. There is no substance in this pride. There is no substance. And therefore, they say, an enjoyer is never capable of giving up his material pride, his desire for material prestige. Anyone who is an enjoyer, he is always proud. He wants material prestige. How can he give up material prestige? Not possible. Therefore, here, Sarjapur Thakur is making it very clear that an enjoyer is never capable of giving it up. He cannot give up pride. He cannot. And what pride is this? False pride. What is a true pride that what true pride that we should have? Servant of Krishna. Yes, we should have this mode of servant of Krishna. That is the true pride. That's called as true ego. Satya. This is the truth. And this is the proper ahankar that we should have. And I am servant of Krishna. And very nicely it is described that as of now, we are Jivatmas, we are servants of Krishna. We should be proud of that. But unfortunately, we are proud of something else which we are not. And when someone speaks something which he is not, such a person is called as mad. So we are proud of what? Our madness. Hence proved it is false pride. But great souls like Raghunath Das Goswami, let's consider Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami, he was very, very rich. I'm talking about 500 years back. The monthly salary that would come to their house was, if I'm not wrong, 12 lakh gold coins. Monthly. Not annual package. Monthly. He had a very, very beautiful wife. So many servants at home. But when Nityananda Prabhu, when he said, you should feed all the Vaishnavas, Chida Dahi. At that time, Raghunath Das Goswami personally procured different items. He got it done from where he called Brahmanas. And it is described, he personally was serving devotees. He was not thinking, I'm such a great person. Why should I serve all of them? Whatever he could do, he was doing. And then whatever he was not able to do, he was asking other servants who were there in his house to do. This is the mood of a great devotee, Amanina, where he is not proud of what he has. He understands it's not mine, it was given by the Lord. What's the point? And see, when the person has this false pride, that same person becomes broken completely when that thing is taken away. And you see, when it comes to people in general, when they lose certain things, like whatever we described about the Jivatmas of this world, whatever pride they have, whatever possessions, etc., that you all listed down, any of it is taken away. They're completely broken. And it's a fact that all of it is temporary. This temporary world, all of it is temporary. It will be taken away one day. So when that is taken away, they are literally in depression to an extent of committing suicide also. We have so many examples for that matter. But when it comes to a devotee, what treasure he has is something that's very permanent. That is service attitude. That mood he has. Taste for Krishna consciousness. That he has. No circumstance, material circumstance can take that away. Therefore, devotee is always blissful. He has the true pride of being the servant of Krishna, and that is exhibited in the attitude of service. And he continues doing the service in that wonderful attitude. So in this way, this is the principle of Amanina. So first one is Trinadapi Sunichena. So Trinadapi Sunichena talks about the important principle of humility that is born out of detachment and renunciation of sense objects. Taroriva Saishna, compassion devoid of jealousy. And third, Amanina, freedom from false ego, false pride. And the last one, Manadena, giving respect to others. And here, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Krishna adhishthana sarva jive jani sada, koro bhi sammana sabe adare sarvada. So, this pure devotee understands that everyone is the resting place of Krishna. So, Krishna resides in everyone. And like that, he honors everyone. With great respect, he deals with everyone. Again, Saraswati Thakur has a point to make. Who cannot respect others? One word that he is using multiple times. Enjoyer. Enjoyer cannot award prestige to others. In fact, a sense enjoyer is jealous of another sense enjoyer. So he cannot give respect to other sense enjoyer. Not possible. So let's discuss this little more objectively. The term giving respect to others. See, first point, one should be respectful to everyone. This we know, theoretically. But then, second point, which we should know theoretically and practically also we should implement, that is, appropriate respect should be given based on what the person deserves. So we should respect everyone according to what they deserve appropriately. So this is the point that is made by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. See, there are 4 categories of living entities. There's a very wonderful article called Vaishnav Ninda. Very nice, deep article by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There he lists down 4 categories of living entities. First one he says is Sadharana Jiva, ordinary living entities. First category, Sadharan Jeev, ordinary living entities, ordinary living beings. Second is Dharmika Jiva. Dharmika Jiva means that person who has accepted Vedic Dharma. He is Dharmika Jiva. Sadharan Jeev, ordinary living beings. Dharmika Jeev, the living beings who accepted Vedic Dharma. Basically, Varnashrama we are talking about. Next is Brahmana and Vaishnava Praya. Brahmana and Vaishnava Praya. Brahmana and almost Vaishnavas. We are talking about them. So the living beings who are Brahmanas and almost Vaishnavas. That's the third category. And fourth category is Vaishnava Jiva or Vaishnava living beings. Or basically Vaishnavas. Sadharan Jeev, Dharmika Jeev, Brahmana Vaishnava Praya Jeev and Vaishnava Jeev. So these are the four categories, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that each one of them should be respected appropriately according to what they deserve. First point for Sadharan Jeev. So respect should be given to all Jivatmas, all the living beings. Understanding what? Understanding that Krishna resides in each one of them. This is the 25th shloka which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is singing. Uttamahaya Vaishnavahabe Nirabhimana Jive Sammana Dibe Jani Krishna Dhisthana. So he is prideless. How he is prideless? And how he gives respect to everyone? Knowing that everyone is the resting place of Krishna. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. So since he knows this fact, you know what he does? He does not hate anyone. How can he hate someone in whom Krishna resides? He does not hate anyone. He does not retaliate. He does not initiate violence against anyone. He is not violent towards anyone. And at the same time, a little difficult to digest, but this is what is the fact. He does not retaliate with counter violence. Now don't ask me practical questions on this. This is an information that we get from the Acharyas, that how such great souls are. So this is regarding Sadharan Jeev. Second is Dharmika Jeev. Some special respect should be given to those who accepted Vedic Dharma. Third, Brahmanas and almost Vaishnavas, we should honor them. So we give special respect to Dharmika Jivas, and Brahmanas and Vaishnava Praya Jiva, we give special respect. Honor. We give special honor. Here comes a very important practical point for all of us. Saraswati Thakur is saying, he greatly honors with humility everyone who have attained an authoritative position in this world of human beings, such as genuine Brahman and Devas, such as Brahma, Rudra in the heavenly planets. He prays to them to grant him Hari Bhakti. He serves in every manner those who are pure devotees. So see, these great souls, they don't disrespect the Devi Devtas. See, the ones who are neophytes, who don't understand the importance of Devtas, they are the ones who disrespect Devtas. But the ones who understand that Krishna has appointed them, Krishna has appointed all of them to take care of the universal administration. Oh, how great these personalities are. He respects them. And he begs from them. What he begs? He begs Hari Bhakti. This is what he begs. And a practical application for all of us in our day-to-day life. See, especially when we are in this preaching mission. So sometimes some of our subordinates will be given some higher roles to play in this mission. Sometimes our equals, they might take up some services which are considered to be at a higher level. So basically, in terms of status or position, in terms of rendering some service, maybe your juniors or equals, they might be given higher ones. Now, what is the meaning of respect? The meaning of respect is, okay, this devotee has been given this particular position by my authority. So, I should be giving respect to him accordingly. Now, I cannot say, to mera equal tha. So, okay, I'll deal the way I want. This is my junior. Why should I listen to him? So, it's a very, very important and practical point, especially for us, in the leadership forum, that if someone is appointed as a leader and they say is superior to us now in terms of the leadership role, but subordinate in terms of various other calculations, still I should be able to respect, give that special respect. So this is regarding the Brahmanas and prior Vaishnavas discussion. And fourth one about Vaishnava beings, one should render service onto the lotus feet. We should serve them, render service. So in this way, these are the four categories. Sadharan Jeev, we respect them. Special respect we give it to Dharmik Jeev. Then we honor Brahmanas and Vaishnava Prayas like Devatas and others who have been appointed for various services. And finally, the fourth one is Vaishnavas. We have to render service to them. We should serve them. Same practical application point for all of us. See, when we host a program, be it in the center or be it in our own homes, so all devotees will come. So the host is expected to respect everyone. Yes. He's supposed to respect everyone. And there are some people, special respect has to be offered to them. They are the ones who are garlanded. They are the ones who are given higher seat to sit. So there shouldn't be any misunderstandings or some misconceptions that why only some people are made to sit here, why others are here, why others are there. Based on what everyone deserves, that appropriate respect should be given. That is called as Manadena. We cannot put everyone on the same platform. That's the point. According to their realizations, according to their vairagya, everyone should be respected appropriately. So this is the point that we see in the discussion here in Manadena principle. We also understand that these pure devotees, they respect their subordinates also. And Saraswati Thakur, I think Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gives this understanding. Why do they respect their subordinates? They respect spiritual masters, they respect other Vaishnavas, accepted, understood. Why do we respect subordinates? And here, it's very nice. In order to make their followers enthusiastic in their services, enthusiastic in rendering Krishna consciousness, their sadhana bhakti, respect is offered to them also by superiors. So that they feel enthusiastic, so that they feel they're part of this entire forum of Vaishnavas. Therefore, they offer respect even to their followers. And we see this in case of our Acharya Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. When his subordinates would come, his disciples would come, they would pay Dandavat. Guru Maharaj, accept my humble obeisances. So at that time, Saraswati Thakur would say, Dasosmi. I am your servant. This is how he would reply. Dasosmi. I am your servant. So this is the mood of our acharyas in the parampara, where they give respect to everyone. And with that respect only, they might chastise also. Yes, as in the position of the guru. As a service, they might chastise. As a service, they will give instruction. So it's a very important point for all of us in the leadership role, that when we are serving or when we are playing this role of being the servant leader, so we have to respect our subordinates. And whenever there is a time when we have to correct, when we have to give some feedback or whatever, that has to be done in the mode of service. Then we will also grow in Krishna consciousness. Or else we'll take the position of guru, and as soon as we take the position of guru, we'll become Guru. Yes. An animal will fall. Unfortunately, we will fall. And I don't think I need to list down the examples in our own organization, where so many people have slipped due to whatever reasons. So these are the four principles which are spoken about. First is Trinadapi Sunichena, Taroriva Saishna, Amanina Manadena. So we have to endeavor to become qualified to chant continuously by getting these or developing these four characteristics. And when we develop these four characteristics, our chanting is offenseless, and naturally these four characteristics will manifest. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, Ei matta haya jay, Krishna namalay, Shri Krishna charane tara, prema upajay. If one chants in this manner, because the question was how to chant. How to chant to attain Krishna prem. Here he is saying, if someone chants in this manner, with these four principles in place, he will certainly get the great treasure that is Krishna Prema. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing. Now Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in the mood of a sadhaka, is singing. Dainya doya anya mana pratishtha varjana chari gune guni hoy koroha kirtana. Being endowed with these four qualities. What are the four qualities? Dainya, humility. Doya, mercy, compassion. Anyamana, respect towards others. Pratishtha varjana, renouncing the desires for prestige. Then one can engage in kirtan. Now Bhaktivinoda Thakur, with great sorrow in the heart, he is helping us to experience that sorrow, sadness, he says. Bhakti vinoda kandi, bole prabhu pai, he no adhikar kabe, dibe he amai. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is crying. He's crying and he's praying to the Lord, oh Lord, when will you give me this kind of eligibility? See, after all, Lord has to bless to realize that this is needed. Lord has to bless so that we endeavor to implement this. And Lord has to bless to make our chanting offenseless. Therefore, here it is said, the person who is decorated by these four characteristics, when he engages in kirtan of Krishna's holy name, then that kirtan becomes a means to attain the highest purushartha. In the conclusion, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he hits a big hammer on our head. Hear this carefully. Without hearing the topics of Shikshashtakam, he's talking about this verse, of Gaura Sundar, when one forgets his own constitutional position with a greed for wealth and prestige in order to attain sense gratification, one who wants to attain the position of Vaishnava or a Guru cannot chant the holy name. So, in our understanding, anyone who forgets that he is servant of Krishna and he is greedy that I want wealth, he is greedy that I should be respected in the circle of Vaishnavas, I should have this prestige in the circle of Vaishnavas. Anyone who wants to become a Guru, so such a person cannot chant the holy name. Now, another point that he makes, which is really little painful. As leaders, we are supposed to serve. And what is our service? Helping others to advance in Krishna consciousness. Just imagine, if we become the cause of someone else's destruction in Krishna consciousness, that will be great disservice. And here Saraswati Thakur is saying, a faithful disciple also does not attain the eligibility if he engages in such kirtan and if he hears the holy name from such a person. So if I am aspiring for prestige, I am aspiring to be a guru, I am aspiring for wealth, then when I chant the holy names, when I glorify the Lord and when my subordinates hear, they will also never be benefited. They will regress in their Krishna consciousness. Such a Vaishnava may have a disciple who is very faithfully serving him. He also does not attain eligibility to engage in proper Shravan Kirtan of holy name if he follows this kind of a person. So therefore, two-prong effect of this shloka. One is, if I have to advance, I have to get these four characteristics. If I want my subordinates to advance, then I should get these four characteristics. Therefore, to attain Krishna Prem, we have to implement these four principles. And if we really want to serve this mission and expand this mission, we have to implement these four principles. And it's actually a fact that anyone who has these four characteristics in the past, we have so many examples, they are the ones who have actually rendered massive service in this mission of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, when we are self-introspecting ourselves, obviously we might slip, we might commit some mistakes, we might not be able to follow these four principles, but we need to self-introspect and at least correct ourselves so that in the next time in the same situation, we might not do the same thing again, be it in terms of humility or tolerance or giving respect to others or expecting respect for oneself. So having said this, we can always intensely pray to Krishna, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying, that you please help me to imbibe these four characteristics, because these four are very, very high level for me. I can give a 2-hour class, but I cannot implement 2 minutes in my own life. So please help me. And you people should also help me. Pray for me also. It's very easy to sit here and speak all this, but then it's very difficult to implement. The reason that we have not attained Krishna Prem till now is because of this. Not able to implement these 4 characteristics. So seeking the blessings of Hari Guru Vaishnavas, specifically for these 4 characteristics, we should continue practicing devotional service. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.